path with a pulse of its own.
3, 2, 1.
Final Encountercast. Interesting conflicts, not conflicts of interest.
Typical corporate bullshit.
With your hosts, Nate, Robbie, Chris, Nika, and Callie. FinalEncountercast.com.
Ready? Get set? Go!
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Final Encountercast. Thanks for joining us, twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio, starting at 1 p.m. Appreciate having you along. You can find us at FinalEncountercast.com. That's where you can find all 80 episodes of the show. Now 81, including this episode. You'll be able to find that tonight, tomorrow morning. Usually turn it around pretty quick. FinalEncountercast.com. Also, you can give us a call if you want to call us today. Final Encountercast on Skype, 810-207-1764. Love to hear from you about any of our news stories or about just whatever the fuck you want to talk about. The lines are open for you. Final Encountercast, 810-207-1764. Kookie's hanging out, standing by, waiting to take your phone calls and pass you along to us. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate having you along. And, of course, is the motley crew of characters. We got a full cast today. Back to full strength.
How about
Barely.
I know. Yeah, Callie just almost didn't feel like showing up today.
Yeah, I thought, ugh. But we'll talk about that on LBR.
That's
not for FEC.
That would be 2 weeks in a row.
I'm here.
And you know what? Actually, this now calls into question every other week that he was like, guys, I don't think I can make it in.
I know, right?
Yeah.
There's a magic pre-release.
Yeah. From now on,
That actually does happen.
Does it? Or is that
You
just a
can
huge
check.
farce that's perpetrated on the internet by you? So you don't have to come into
Yeah,
work.
Magic the Gathering actually died out in 98.
Yeah, but did you remember you're like someone quit at your job, so I have to help pick up hours. Did they really?
Oh, no.
Hold up.
Hold up.
All of that is now
These
suspect.
are hours that I work whether or not he's there. The fact that someone quit, that just means this month sucks ass for me. That's all that means.
You are under heavy scrutiny now, sir.
Yeah,
I care.
why would this month be any different? Anyway,
Amen.
welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate having you along. Again, Final Encountercast is the website. And if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure that you head on over to checkpointradio.com and check out that show as well. We've been hard at work getting a new method available for you to listen to full episodes of that show on demand, and it's ready. You can now check out full episodes, our full archive, over at Mixcloud.com. So that's Mixcloud.com/checkpointradio. Go and follow the feed and get the access to the full episodes on Tuesday when we would upload them to the website, and you can get them in basically I don't know. Better quality than we're allowed to post them on the website. We have to compress them a lot to be able to post them on our website. So we have them at full uncompressed quality over at Mixcloud. So we've like
if you're the kind of the person that can actually hear that kind of thing, you can go there.
This is going to be a pretty noticeable difference. I can guarantee that. And Mixcloud is pretty cool. You can also download their app. So we had been like a lot of people had said, hey, we want to be able to listen to the full shows, but it sucks to listen to them on mobile. This is a really good way to be able to do that.
Good.
Mixcloud.com/checkpointradio. Check that out. Of course, this show is supported by your generous support over at Patreon, patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. We've been well below the $2,000 threshold.
I guess we have to stop this show, guys.
Since midsummer.
For months.
It's been a while, but yet we continue to do the show because it's really fun to do. We love doing the show.
We at least want to do one show a day that we enjoy doing. So.
If you like the show and you want to see this content continue, you can help support it over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. And we recorded our first Green Room video in a while. We know that we had let that fall off for a little bit. We apologize for that.
We have a really good discussion on that.
Failing podcast.
Yeah, I know. The thing is I mean, like, it was a pain in the ass to bring the camera, and I was just like, well, why don't we use the GoPro? And then all of us forgot that the GoPro was sitting there for weeks and weeks, and then there was the power problems, and anyway, so we'll have that on YouTube for our
There's probably
patron.
like 4 of them on here, to be fair.
There's probably 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, so you got to
on
go through them and like make a collage of green room videos for us,
I'm gonna put out 4 green room videos.
and then you do like a collage of the best stuff
No, I'm gonna put out 4 green room videos.
with like explosions and special effects and musicals.
There might also be nudes on there, so just be
Like of you?
yeah, definitely.
With anyone else?
Who wants nudes of you?
I don't even want to touch it anymore. No.
I'll take it.
I mean, I can't guarantee that they're not there.
Okay. Are
So
there
good
nudes of your
luck.
girlfriend on there?
I mean,
Is
no.
she involved? Well, then what the
No.
hell do I want it for?
I still don't understand. Like, who would want nudes of you?
I mean,
were they revenge nudes?
no, they were definitely not revenge.
Unsolicited dick pics.
nudes. That may very well be.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Well,
because
I'll put it up.
that's a fun Saturday afternoon. If you didn't know,
Go outside.
I don't want to go outside. It until very recently, it was very hot out there.
It is. Yeah, for reals.
Anyway,
Ooh. No, I don't want it. That was a good sleight of hand. Actually, I didn't see you pull it back into your other hand.
What?
You like
Go
it
clap.
looked like you dropped it on your shirt, but you didn't.
Oh, that's because I'm.
It was a very good sleight of hand.
I'm a card player.
Card player.
Anyway, hopefully we'll have a stable show today. Last week was a bit of a pain in the ass to.
Well,
to
way
get
to
the show.
jinx it.
Well, we'll
Thanks.
see.
Yeah, good job.
Yep.
I sure hope Comcast doesn't fuck us over.
Anyway, again, we would love to hear from you. Final Encountercast on Skype, 810-207-1764. Phone lines are open. You can sound off on anything that you hear, or if you just want to vent about something, you can give us a call. Again, Final Encountercast on Skype, 810-207-1764. All right, let's check out what's going on in the news.
I'm here to do the news tonight.
And that's the way the news goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you important news.
Here's a story that's out of this world.
Alrighty, guys. U.S. Congresswoman Grace Meng put a Canadian-made video game on blast for its blatant bigotry. The game, Dirty Chinese Restaurant, has players creating either a nice oriental restaurant or a filthy dive, complete with serving cats and dogs and the most stereotypical of clientele. Holy shit!
I think this only becomes racist depending on who makes it.
Well, it's made by Big O Tree Games.
I mean, but I mean, like, it can either be very self-deprecating or very. I mean, like,
It's a Canadian company. I don't know.
Like, if South Park made that a part of Fractured Butthole, you know what I mean?
Nobody
Like,
would care.
Yeah, no one would blink an eye at it.
Right.
But it's because no one's necessarily ever heard of this developer, and I'd love for it to be like.
Okay, so that's a double standard.
I'm just saying, I'd love for it to be a development staff of all Asians.
Let's just say, here's the thing. Dirty Chinese Restaurant, at least South Park came up with Shitty Walk, which is an ongoing funny joke.
I mean,
up with something
it is
funny.
basically the same joke,
Yeah,
if you think about it.
It kind of is.
That's what I was. That.
But one's a little more clever. One has some effort put into it, is all I'm saying.
I mean-
not a lot, but a little.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know that it totally. I don't know that it totally meets the standard for being necessarily racist.
Especially if you can actually, you said that you can choose to make it shitty
yeah.
or a good one,
But the
right?
name of the game is called Dirty Chinese Restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. This is teetering the line pretty harsh.
I don't know how many Chinese restaurants you've been to, but even the nice ones are pretty shitty.
On the
I've been to a couple really nice ones.
on the racist-o-meter, I don't know. I think I got to put this one squarely in the racist box.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
They're Canadians. They can't be racist.
Just because you
they
can't
just say
make
sorry.
a nice restaurant doesn't mean anything.
Well, they will say they're sorry, I'm sure.
No, I'm gonna be. I think Nate would agree with me here. There's nothing racist by saying shitty Chinese restaurant because there are shitty ones. If let's say a French person were to be like, oh, shitty McDonald's, is that being racist?
I'm not
Yeah, I
saying,
mean, that's-
not saying
yeah.
shitty, but making a game where you can make a shitty one on purpose and have very stereotypical everything is extremely
The straight
Yeah,
up,
but-
like literally, the clientele have like the Chinese like the straw hat and the buck teeth. Like it's like, come on.
But the thing is, though, is I think that's kind of a good point. Is that like if you made that same game, but it was about a dirty, like burger joint, and they were all over exaggerated stereotypes of Americans,
Buck
like
teeth.
I don't
like,
know.
Fucking their sisters.
I just don't know. I don't know that necessarily anyone. I mean, I guess maybe in 2017, and Trump has
Someone
made
would.
what it
I guess it
is.
depends
Like
if it's
someone
an
would get there.
American game or if like someone in China made it. I feel like it would definitely
It's
be
Canadian.
First of all,
No, this is Canadian,
Yeah.
so that's why it's racist. If a Chinese company made this, it would be different.
An evil hippie saying that Canadians are the most racist people on the planet.
Yes, so
I'm not gonna say that. I'm just saying what evil hippie said.
So I think if we had made a burger joint with like the fat, white, stereotypical American, if it was an American game, it wouldn't be racist. If it was a Chinese game, maybe.
first of all, I guarantee that game exists in China.
I don't
probably
see
does.
it would not come out of China because I just don't think that they have the context for that kind of satire to make the jump.
I don't know that it would be
but
satire, it'd be
because
propaganda.
North America does have that kind of context and is still making games like this about a country that is not their own.
I mean,
It is racist.
Listen, yeah, but at the same time, it was like what 6 years ago that Chinese restaurant in Waterford, like they shut it down because they proved that they were just going and trapping the ducks out on the lake behind the restaurant and using that.
What? That's just being efficient and cost effective.
Like,
and
dude,
keeping the park clean.
That's free burgers flying around out there, man.
like I mean, I'm not saying it. Okay, it may be racist, but at the same time, like a lot of stereotypes are stereotypes because
for
I mean,
a reason.
all stereotypes are based on something.
yeah, they
But
originate
still.
somewhere.
What is your deal with calling me a racist?
All right. Let's
Yeah,
all.
it is probably racist, but okay, can we agree
that it's funny.
that it's racist, but it's also kind of funny?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of
I don't
funny.
know. I don't
Let's
think
all
it's-
take a
I think it's
minute
kinda
to
stupid.
to check our privilege now. Okay, we are all white and Americans. Privilege checked. Okay.
Okay. A tentative deal has been struck in the SAG-AFTRA voice actor strike that began some 11 months ago. Voice actors will be able to return to work with some further protections for their voice, more knowledge about what the roles they'll be taking entail, and additional bonuses for sessions worked. They did not, however, get the residuals that formed one of the core tenets of the strike.
Dude,
Womp womp.
the not getting the residuals, I think, is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Companies were basically like, okay, we'll treat you like you're basic human beings now.
Yeah, and I mean what they did get and versus what the video game companies didn't get. I think that they were able to stop the creep and encroachment of video game companies further on voice actors, but I don't think that they got all of the protections that they deserve.
No.
And I don't think, and I think that the fact that residuals are not guaranteed at a certain point, that's left up to individual contracts, and that's one of the most difficult negotiating points that you can have as a voice actor or someone signing onto a project, that is really dismaying because it's something that's very, very normal inside of the movie and commercial and television industry. Hollywood is very much normalized to that sort of thing, and that's where you see a lot of opportunities. Somebody moves out to LA, they can live off of 2 or 3 commercials for a year or two, and so I think that voice actors, especially ones that are a part of projects that do very, very well, should absolutely be brought in on the residuals.
Especially when it's something that the developer might not even expect to do very well, and then it takes off. Like, how fair is that for them to then be making so much profit, and the people behind the characters and the voices get?
Well, and not even when a project does really well, but the fact that they can put out like a remastered version using the same voice lines, and a voice actor sees absolutely nothing from that to me is just absolutely the worst.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because with regular acting, if they make back when they had like VHS or originally DVD, and then they upscale it for Blu-ray, like, do actors get residuals from that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
generally,
voice actors
yeah.
absolutely should as well.
Yeah, and
Except it's more like a privilege to be able to voice act for a game.
Oh,
so you should
stop.
just be happy with what you have.
In fact, I'm pretty sure if I remember this correctly, when we had our talk with David Hayter, way back yonder, he was the writer for X1 and X2, and he said, whenever that comes on TV and you watch it, he gets like a fraction of a penny or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a lot. Again,
Fraction of a penny.
But the
Hollywood,
thing is,
Hollywood does it based on percentages of,
Yep.
of overall distribution. But what voice actors specifically were fighting for was at a specific point, because I think enough people that we've talked to and that we've seen interviewed as a part of this story have said, like, look, we understand that it takes a lot of resources. It takes a lot of money to be able to make a game. The thing is, though, is that, like, we want to be cut in on residuals after a game has attained a certain level of success. There's a minimum cap that it has to reach. And I think that their minimum cap that they were requesting, while I don't have a specific figure, was pretty generous in terms of...
I think it was 2 million units moved.
That
was a lot.
Dude, that's a lot of, and that's not $2 million made. That's 2 million units moved.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and weren't they just wanting to just be paid whatever their fee was, again, like as their bonus or something? It's not even like they were asking for percentages.
Yeah, I think that may have been one of the bargaining points that was tossed about, but I think at that point, when a game has achieved that level of success, you should be compensating the people who helped make it such a success. And people don't understand why there's such kind of turnover in terms of or inconsistencies in voice staff and voice actors from maybe one series title to the next. And I think that that's something that video game companies used to value a lot more than they do now, and they've realized, well, fuck it doesn't really matter, because people still end up buying the game. Like, that's in the end the real tragedy here, is that I kind of think that, like, gamers in general didn't take up this cause enough to be able to make video game companies feel like they had to come more to the table, or else their bottom line would suffer.
Well, and one of the downsides of it too is I think the only game that we saw released that was affected by it was the prequel to Life is Strange.
That's the only one that hit that went viral out there.
Well, it's the only one that I think has actually been released. There's still a bunch of other projects that were affected by it, but are still in development. So we wouldn't have seen the effects of it. When the writers went on strike all those years ago, there were shows that ended.
Cut off mid-season.
Yeah, and then never came back because of it. There was actual tangible evidence that you could see yourself. But with this strike, there wasn't a whole lot of media coverage about it. Nothing was being affected. We didn't really lose out on anything yet. So the only people that were affected by this strike, like really affected by this strike, was the voice actors themselves.
The people who were not working.
Yeah, and because not everyone, was on strike, because, obviously they still got, a voice actress to do Chloe in the prequel. I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a win for the AAA studios.
I know, because
and for all of the bullshit, business and tactics that they represent. Like, it's definitely a solid win for them.
Yeah, the more I think about the stuff that they gave up, it was just like bullshit trash stuff that they had came up with. So, guys, we can give this up. So it's like we're making concessions too, is what it felt like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, you've got to have a lot of patience if you're trying to really wait something like that out. And I first of all, I don't think that there was enough noise made, both on the part of gamers and the part of voice actors and SAG-AFTRA members.
I was going to say, because I think a lot of it lies is with other SAG-AFTRA members, not just the voice actors themselves, but if other members, like actual actors, would have been in on this too, at least giving it more noise, more credence, talking about it more, it would have went further.
How many many award shows went down in that 11 months? How many different Hollywood award shows where they gave out awards for animated movies and for movies that have prominent voice actors in them or voice roles for them? How many opportunities did someone have to speak on this issue and they just didn't?
Nope.
You know what I mean?
A public setting is no place to voice a protest. So.
Oh yeah, of course not.
If they had taken a knee on stage, it would have gotten a bigger reaction.
You know,
it's just not the time and place. Okay.
You know, here's maybe what should have happened. Maybe there should have been, like an animated movie that really took aim at Donald Trump, so he felt the need to respond to it, and then everyone would have known about this issue. There wouldn't have been a single person not talking about this issue. That's what you got to do. And to be honest, I think that the responsibility is really, you got to lay that at the feet of Seth Rogen. I mean, it's all Seth Rogen's fault.
Damn it, Seth.
I mean, he made Sausage Party. I mean, he could have made a follow-up film that was just, I don't know, an hour and a half of one of the Sausage Party characters sodomizing Donald Trump with like a cavalcade of voice actors making an appearance, just like walk-ons, like, ha, that's funny, ha, and then they walk off, and then
Pee Wee Herman's attending.
Whatever. Fucking Paul Rubens isn't working very much. Like,
no, he's
of course. I don't know if he's taken any voice roles, but yeah, let's throw a bone to Paul Rubens. But yeah, like if they had done that, then there would have been no way that this issue could have gone ignored.
Nate, you make a good point. Fuck you, Seth Rogen.
It is Seth Rogen's fault.
I like it. Bandai Namco have teamed up with Gamblit Gaming to adapt Pac-Man into a casino floor game. The game is played with 2 to 4 players, with the CPU playing the ghosts, and appears to be an adaptation of Pac-Man Battle Royale. Kind of neat, but seems like maybe 20 or 30 years late.
So,
everyone's getting in that PUBG action.
So wait a minute.
Well, I mean, yeah, Battle Royale's in 4 players.
That I was just gonna ask that, Nika.
So everyone puts up money to play, and it like cycles through this like little randomizer that shows like how much like this game is for, like how much whoever wins this game gets that amount of money. So yeah, you go around and you play Pac-Man. With 4 players, and in Battle Royale, you can actually eat the other Pac-Man. Like if you get them from behind or on the side, you can eat them.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's actually really cool.
Yeah, and whoever wins gets the money.
That actually
gambling in video games.
It's actually a more skill-based than luck-based game.
That's what they argue.
That's actually, yeah. I at first I was like, I'm not a fan of this.
That just seems like a Pac-Man tournament at that point.
Like, yeah, that's actually kind of legit.
Yeah, I mean, if they had this in our local casino, we have 1 billion of them. I imagine I would try it at least once, right?
Well, there's 4 of us. And if we're all playing the same game, as long as one of us wins, we split the...
Well, obviously the payout isn't 100%, idiot.
Well, yeah, the house will collect some.
The payout's going to be less, yeah.
How can we make this work? We'll figure it out. We'll see what the numbers are.
Because you're just playing with each other, then it's the same thing as if you're just playing a game at home. And
you're right. We have to get one. We need 3 of us and 1 sucker that we team up on.
There you go.
And then then you all team up on that. Wait, what? I'm part of you guys.
Oh, are ya?
Come on.
Says the one not in the studio.
Says the one without a penis.
I moved to somewhere better than shitty ass Michigan. Okay. Michigan could be better.
Yeah,
right
she totally blew past the misogyny right there.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't need to visit that.
It was a joke, you bitch.
Laugh at it.
Not how that drop is meant, but it worked, I guess.
Careful, we might offend Mochi again. We don't want to do that.
The new Assassin's Creed title will feature a tourist mode called Discovery Tour. In it, players can free roam the map without threat, hearing all the dialogue and seeing all the sights without constraint.
Easy mode.
No, because you can't actually progress through any of the story in it. It's literally just to like see all the background shit in the game and what's going on.
Like exploration.
It's like exploring the map.
Oh, to a certain extent, I think this is kind of cool. I think that it would be a pretty neat tool for like machinima animators and stuff like that to be able to use.
That is cool, but I just wonder, like, with how quickly again that Assassin's Creed turns out games, how quality is it going to be? I would love to go back to some of the original Assassin's Creeds and do that.
Well, as I say, it's been a while now, Nick. I mean, with Origins coming out, they're trying to. I think they've realized like what they were doing, that they were basically just a game mill It's like a puppy mail except with games. Terrible.
Except they put out that shitty fucking movie as like sort of a bridge. That's why they took that time off from the series.
The movie was so bad.
It was bad. The whole franchise has turned to dog shit. Honestly, it has. I mean,
you think they're gonna be able to turn it around with Origins?
Maybe.
Origins look cool.
Origins definitely looked impressive. The thing is that I feel like it doesn't take that much effort to put together a impressive, like, not just demo, but like sort of like, demo experience. So I don't know how much of it was available at E3. What we saw was cool,
or how it's gonna hold up in like a full-length game.
Yeah, I just don't know, because that's really the thing, is that
it's because you don't like Egyptians, isn't it?
No, actually, what? When it comes to the Egyptian landscape, because I'm usually not a big fan of that, but they did a really good job of making it seem interesting and varied.
Nate's such a racist.
I'm actually looking forward to it, and I think you've expressed similar concerns too, not concerns, but similar thoughts.
Well,
about
I mean, again, it looks like Metal Gear Solid 5, and while Metal Gear Solid 5 was a great game, it was also sort of fundamentally incomplete, and you could feel that towards like the later chapters. So
yes,
there's a lot of I feel like in these more open world games, and actually I felt like this for the last couple of generations of games, that there's a lot of presentation paid to, like, there's a lot of attention that's paid to the presentation of the first half of the game, because that's what's required to suck people in. And then once you kind of have that, and Chris, this is your favorite term, but once you kind of have that sunk fallacy cost kicking in, that the
second, we're going to talk about card games.
No, the second half of the quality ends up drastically falling off. So yeah, I think that that is a problem that we've seen more than a few times, and that it's just, I don't know, like it's I could see it happening with Assassin's Creed. Like, I feel like that what they've shown is very tight, but can they, sustain that for 20, 30 hours or however long that game is going to be?
That's fair, because a lot of games, well, specifically, I recently played the Shadow of Mordor game, which has some Assassin's, qualities to it, and I found myself after, just like 1 or 2 hours being like, all right, I have to put this down now before I, basically get so burnt out on it that I don't want to come back and finish it, and that can be supplanted, I think, by a good narrative, which I don't know that Assassin's Creed has ever really had a really compelling narrative.
I thought
to
the
pull
first
me in.
3 did, and then fell off.
I mean, Ezio was an interesting character, and I liked him, but the story itself overall was never I
don't know. I thought it was, just because a lot of, at the beginning, we didn't know much about the Templar organization and everything was kind of mysteriously hidden, and you had to use your special powers to see it, and then it was creeping, whoa.
Yeah, but after,
really? So at first it was really compelling, and I feel and I really liked Ezio's character, and then it just kind of fell off after that.
But after so many Assassin's Creed games, you kind of know that it's going to be more build on that relationship, and there's going to be no payoff.
It's like trying to watch the Da Vinci Code 3 or 4 times in a row. After a while, you're just all right, you know what? I get it. Mystery.
And, well,
intrigue.
I mean,
you could also watch a good movie. You could do that too.
That's true.
It's just set up without any payoff.
That's the big thing.
Desmond never had a good payoff. You know what I mean? They're so willing to drop narrative threads.
That's why I have not played a single Assassin's Creed since. I have Black Flag, but I haven't been able to pick it up.
That's the one that I stopped on too.
Yeah, because the thing is that, well, I understand a lot of people didn't like Desmond. The thing is that, spoilers, when he dies at the end of the final one of his story, then there's the threads are with the goddesses, they're the evil goddess is getting released, and the other characters in Desmond's group are okay, how are we going to stop her from destroying everything? And I'm wow, this is really cool. And then it dropped, gone.
Yeah,
nothing.
I felt that was the end of every game,
and they're not.
I'm yes, now Desmond's gone, but there's so much more story potential here for a bigger, grander thing to happen in the universe, and they just completely drop.
See, and Synaptic Ninja, I thought we were going to go back and play as Desmond later on. Yeah, first of all,
thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nika.
But the thread that they set up, that problem that they set up, might be paid off at a later date, but in all of the subsequent games, there's been nothing that has been leading us toward that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just... I don't know. I have a lot of problems with the Assassin's Creed series because it's a series that I liked the gameplay of quite considerably, but when it came to the narrative structure, ended up really, really frustrating me.
Yeah, I agree.
Rockstar had been teasing some major news on the front of Red Dead Redemption 2 last week, and they delivered. While we didn't get the release date that many of us were hoping for, we did get a trailer showing us some of the lore, combat, and important characters. Are we able to show it, or...?
I forgot to set this up.
Okay.
I'd rather not get a DMC.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't know how Rockstar is about that.
We'll just go with...
Not good enough.
Yeah,
right.
we'll just assume that they're like every other game development company on the planet.
Watch the trailer. It's online and it's great. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Chris.
Hang on. We talked about this because
last week.
Yeah, we had talked about this last week that they were getting ready to announce something, and no one in the room had played a Red Dead game. I've played a little bit of it. I know some of the appeal. Explain why Red Dead is such an amazing series, or why someone should play it.
It's Grand Theft Auto in the Wild West.
Oh,
that's pretty much what we said.
You have all the freedoms of what a Grand Theft Auto game does, but it's
in the West.
It's in the West.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like the Wild West theme, it's not going to be for you.
Or if you don't like the style of game that Grand Theft Auto is played in as well.
That was kind of my thing, is that like I was never a big fan of like the spaghetti westerns and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
you got to like the Wild West theme, but if that's not your thing, you can probably just play Grand Theft Auto instead.
So why
if you like Wild West theme, you're going to love it.
All right, so I guess that explains why Callie likes it. You know, the whole Appless Chaps, Brokeback Mountain thing.
Appless Chaps.
Appless Chaps.
What are Appless Chaps?
Those are chaps that don't have any of the
just
popular apps. No Candy Crush.
Do the chaps
no
not
Pokemon
have
Go.
Wi-Fi? Is that the problem? Is that why they're appless?
That's right. Yes.
Can we get chaps with Wi-Fi?
I mean,
I don't really want app chaps.
That's the dream. That's the dream, Fat, is getting app
You never need
app
data
chaps.
again. You just have Wi-Fi.
We need app chaps right now. Somebody needs to patent this. Because we need chaps that have apps.
We'll put
For
that
science!
Put that on the list with our God, what were they? Leg capes?
Leg capes and app chaps.
And peenie packs?
And peenie packs. We are making the worst clothing line in history. I think we need to get Jinx clothing on the phone and try to sell them on app chaps and
leg
capes and peenie packs.
Dude, leg capes are awesome.
Oh yeah, the appless chaps, or the app chaps also have to be assless app chaps.
Assless app chaps. Then you get assless app chaps.
Look, listen, Robbie would never be able to say the name of the fucking product ever. Ever. You can't do that to him. You can't do that to him.
If we could somehow get Apple to make it.
He made the invention. I mean, you can't. That's really unfair.
Ooh, I totally burned you.
NRG Esports.
You're not even going to bother to correct yourself and say assless. You were just.
I did, but everyone was talking over it.
You thought that we were just going to ignore it?
I don't think he ever said anything like that.
No, I don't think he did.
Because just correcting myself now is just going to erase all of that anyway, obviously.
Obviously.
No, come on.
Obviously.
Rabble.
Okay.
Wow.
NRG Esports have seen a $15 million investment from a host of major names, including sports icons Marshawn Lynch,
David
Marshawn Lynch. Alex Rodriguez and Michael Strahan. In addition, Jennifer Lopez has gotten in on the investment of NRG, who just recently became San Francisco representative for Overwatch League.
What?
Wait, what? She's the actual representative
No,
for
no.
it?
Oh, no. NRG Esports are.
Oh, okay.
She's just invested in the team.
Okay. The way that you said that's like Jennifer Lopez is now the face of San Francisco Overwatch.
I know. I was like,
that would be interesting.
This, I think, obviously.
Celebrities are taking notice in the promise of investing in esports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
But I mean, like, and we've seen investments come from all sorts of athletes before. I think this is one of the first Hollywood people.
Yeah, no, actually,
I've seen.
And they actually put out a video like announcing their roster that actually had some like production put into it. Shaq comes in and basically introduces everyone, and Jennifer Lopez, I guess, spends quite a bit of time on screen and kind of comes off like she's the one who like scouted out and like picked all of the different players.
So she kind of is.
Shut the fuck up. That is not a thing.
I'm not saying that she did, but it kind of like comes across that way.
There's no way. There's no way that they put Jennifer Lopez on screen and they were like, we're going to give you enough lines to make you sound like you scouted these players. No fucking
absolutely
way.
not.
I refuse to believe that.
If that's the case, I will never root for this team. That's not how
yes, that's right. Energy Esports is not that fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, go find the video and take a look at it. They put some effort into it. You know, it's
I
not
kind
just
of want
like.
to can we not watch that on the stream? I think that would be entertaining.
It'd probably be too long. I don't think it wasn't a short video.
It's like a long promo
it's like a 2-3 minute video.
I mean, I feel like now go back to Daddy of Light and how long that took us to get through. I think
trailers.
Yeah, just
Okay,
the 2-minute video might
on.
be 4 hours worth of show.
Daddy of Light was a different beast because we were trying to fill 3 hours of show.
He's not wrong.
Devoid of completely of content.
Yeah.
I don't like when you say true things. Go back to saying
that's
bullshit.
not necessarily true.
You're liked by everyone.
Thanks.
She's still got a fat ass. I'm assuming that she's still got a fat ass.
PH or F?
A PH.
Jennifer
Badass.
Lopez?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
She's got
That's a
the-
compliment.
She's got the money to keep it. I don't know
That's
why
a
she
compliment.
wouldn't.
That's
Yeah.
a compliment.
Badonkadonk in the trunk.
Nika looks
Good
very
Lord.
uncomfortable because we're objectifying someone now. Oh,
Yeah,
she's
I'm
smiling
pretty
again.
sure that her image was built on that at one point anyway. So.
Nika is currently looking up
I'm
Jennifer
sorry.
Lopez to see if she
Wow.
has
That-
an
yeah,
ass.
that's
Nika, that was really belittling.
That is a multi-million-dollar ass right there.
It is. I think her ass and Beyonce's ass are both insured, aren't they?
I can almost guarantee you that they're insured.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I heard that.
Is her ass worth more or less than Bayonetta's?
Elknud says J-Lo has like the best ass and
Still,
all natural.
I'm
all
asking-
natural, apparently.
I'm asking still. That's what I'm asking. I know she has a great ass. I'm just asking still in 2017.
I guess.
All
I would
right.
assume.
It's not being held in by Spanx or something.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
Okay. All right. Anyway.
So RuneScape is still relevant, apparently.
No, it's not.
Shut up.
I don't
No, it's
disagree.
not. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
Fine.
Last
Who
week at
wrote this?
I actually do not know.
He didn't write this.
This is not what I put on here. I have no idea where this news story came
I assume
from.
Kooky must
I would have
did
to
it?
think it was kooky.
Yeah.
It's a phantom news story.
Last week at RuneFest 2017, a $20,000 tournament was held in which involved a week of leveling up and battling in a fight to the death. It seemed simple enough. However, there were a few snags, such as players forming alliances, which is a disqualification, some computers getting disconnected randomly and were assumed as a DDoS attack, and the last standing player was found to be responsible for a bot farm in RuneScape. So what happened to the money? Well, it's still under discussion. We don't quite know what's going to happen to the money yet.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Why does the last player standing being responsible for a bot farm have anything to do with the tournament?
Because that probably disqualifies them as well.
You're
Why?
like literally
Is
that'd be
the bot farm is separate from the tournament, right?
right, but what if the person who won a season of the feast was also the leader of I don't know,
RMT website?
An RMT website, yeah.
All right, well, you know what? He's branching out. Good for him.
First of all, players getting disconnected, I'm sure it's because they're still playing this game on their 56K modems. and I just this
This is a game made for a 56K modem and it can't keep up with. Yeah, no. I just feel like it's not made. I don't know.
They're
I just feel
playing
like
in
if
the
you're
high
still
school
playing a
library,
game
okay?
That's so shitty.
Who the hell
and so old
DDoS'd a
school.
RuneScape tournament?
Hey, when $20,000 is up for grab, hell yeah!
I mean,
it's kind of
Dust
small.
off those
I mean,
RuneScape
that gives out
characters.
the motivation, and I'm just not sure that game has quite updated their
I think
security measures.
I think the bigger question is who put up 20 grand for a RuneScape competition?
That is a
Yeah, what sucker at what company had to listen to that pitch and be like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Esports, they're the thing now.
Oh, please let someone from RuneScape have gone in trying to pitch it as a new esport. It's the next big thing.
It's ridiculous.
Outstanding.
What happens to the money?
Then, so what should they do with the money?
I don't know.
How about invest in RuneScape too?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, make a
put
new
it into
game. Make a new
put it into
idea.
RuneScape.
That's like 7 times their annual budget.
Wow.
Is it still? You can play. Can you play that in browsers still?
You can play it on mobile now.
Can you really? Wow.
There is a
Why
mobile
did they even
version of
bother making a
RuneScape.
mobile version of that?
Because it
Well,
probably
the
costs
mobile version-
$5.
Does the mobile version cross interact with the PC?
That I'm not sure, but why wouldn't it?
I mean, why would it not?
Yeah.
I don't know, because that costs effort and development and money. I don't know.
I mean, if you can play it in browser, then theoretically you could just play it on a browser on your phone, right?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, Roto points out that RuneScape 3 is out. I had no
What?
idea that there was a
What?
sequel even to
What?
RuneScape.
For real?
RuneScape 3 is
What
out,
happened?
so why invest in RuneScape 2?
What happened to RuneScape?
It's a great question.
You know what? It makes every bit of sense, Roto. Don't ask why, but it does.
I didn't think.
I had no idea there
You're
was a
saying
sequel
like more
even.
than just expansions onto RuneScape. Like these are separate games.
Yeah, it's like Destiny 2.
Why are people still playing the first one then? Shut it down.
It's like
Same reason why the
EverQuest.
first EverQuest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
don't-
Well, EverQuest was better than EverQuest 2.
I don't want to lose all my progress, though.
Same reason why people are still playing FF11.
I mean,
But
yeah.
14 wasn't a sequel.
Well,
it's a different game.
No,
RuneScape
but-
2 may not be a sequel to RuneScape 1 either.
Yes.
MMOs are seldom actual sequels.
Destiny 2.
This is strange news.
It is. Thank you, whoever put it there.
You're welcome.
Was it you?
No.
Cookie?
I think it was him. He's just fucking around with us.
Are you sure?
But that was gaming related.
Yeah, this is not have any of the hallmarks of mine.
He does, and he doesn't actually write out the blurb. He just puts
Yeah.
the link on there and has me write the blurb.
There's not even a phantom pooper on here. Come on. Or wait, was it the mad pooper?
Mad Pooper.
Yeah, the Mad Pooper.
I like Phantom Pooper better.
Can we make that a an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical?
The Phantom
Pooper.
I like it.
Wow.
Please.
Who's Andrew Lloyd?
Oh my God, are you serious?
Is he the guy that was the doc
He wrote
in Back
Phantom
to
of
the
the
Future?
Opera. Stop.
Good Lord.
Oh, he was the Phantom?
No, he wrote it.
RuneScape.
He wrote it.
Guys, Crimson Tinted just put in the chat that this doesn't even qualify as a RuneScape, like a new game. It says RuneScape 3 is a large collection of new features added to the existed
See,
game.
that's what I said. I was like, it's a separate game, not just an expansion. No, it's an expansion or an added feature.
Released
just
on
an
July
update.
22nd, 2013?
On my birthday.
2013? Holy hell.
What?
But it says a reworked orchestrated soundtrack, new customizable user interface, and new camera controls.
Oh my God. All right. Well, it's better than FF14's patches. Anyway, Nintendo is releasing a large encyclopedia of Legend of Zelda in North America. The 320-page book containing lore, enemy and character bios, maps, concept art, screenshots, and more is being published by Dark Horse and will retail at $40.
I already have 2 books like that. What is this one going to be that's different than the other ones? Because I have the Hyrule Historia, and then I also have like the items, art, and game one where it like gives descriptions of all the games and items and stuff.
They're billing it as the follow-up to the Hyrule Historia.
Okay.
I think $40 is a pretty good price point for a 320-page book.
Because there's been, what, 3-ish games that have come out in...
Since then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since the Hyrule
That
Historia?
sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ish?
something like that.
Ish?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Wait.
Which one covers Spirit Tracks? That's what I want to know.
Well, because there was the DS game where you could go into the walls. There was
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Link Between Worlds?
Link
That's
Between
right.
Worlds,
Yeah.
and then there's Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
And
Was there one more?
There is one more.
There is one more.
One more.
What else
in the
would
channel pointed out.
what else would have not been included in the Hyrule Historia?
Phantom Hourglass? No.
Hyrule Warriors don't count because that's not considered
I can't remember
canon,
when that
right?
was.
Triforce Heroes?
Is
No.
it Triforce? No, that's the one that's not. It's the Dynasty Warriors one.
That's
Hyrule
Hyrule
Warriors.
Warriors. I thought
yeah,
that
that's
was
not considered canon.
Hyrule
What year
Warriors
was
is
Twilight
absolutely
Princess?
not canon.
Okay, that's what I thought.
What year was
Hyrule
Twilight
Warriors,
Princess?
all the characters for
Twilight Princess
was in there.
Yeah,
It was, okay.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
All right.
so the prizes may suck, but that isn't stopping WWE superstar Bayley from competing in the Nintendo World Championships. The former women's champion will be among those competing in the event when it kicks off on October the 7th.
Why?
Bayley, why?
Bailey.
Wants
Bailey,
to be
What are
relevant
you
again.
doing?
Bailey, when you're well, you know what? She's been out on injury for a while. Maybe she's looking for something to do.
I would believe if I had never watched Up Up Down Down, I would believe automatically that Nintendo is paying her to be there. But since I've watched Up Up Down Down, I don't know that I totally believe that. I think that this is legitimately something that she would want to do.
Knowing like the way Bayley portrays herself,
Yeah.
this is like absolutely such like Nintendo World Championships. I'm there.
Yeah.
And because she makes a fuck ton of money from WWE, she doesn't have to worry about the prizes being shitty.
Did she have to qualify?
I
Did she have to
doubt it.
show up to one of the Best Buy locations?
I can't imagine.
Why would you not?
Well,
Because
I
it's
mean, right?
Nintendo.
Like that
Yeah.
was the prerequisite that
That
she
was the
had to.
qualifier.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Why would you not
Dude,
have to qualify?
I'm sure she's special guest.
Oh, come on. No, I want to know.
Nintendo doesn't give a shit.
I want to
about
know,
this person.
honestly, I want to know whether or not she had to show up to Best Buys.
I hope she did.
100%.
I hope she did.
I kind of hope she did too, because
I
that
hope
would
she went
have
to a Best
been
Buy and
cooler.
kicked some little kid's ass.
That would have been
It's way cooler for like a celebrity of some sort to show up just like a normal person and participate and show that they game like normal people. I think that would be exactly what they should have had her do.
Yeah.
Nintendo has banned YouTube live playthroughs of their games for Nintendo creators. Thank you. The program, available to people who are partnered through YouTube, will still allow Let's Play style videos of their games, but live streams will be off limits.
Stop it.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Wait, so wait, they're saying you can Let's Play but not live stream?
You can do Let's Plays, but you cannot live stream it.
No.
Wait, I have one game.
No,
All
hold
Nintendo
on. This is thank you, Nintendo, because they're progressing. Before we couldn't even do YouTube or live or Let's Plays. Now we can do Let's Play, so eventually we'll progress the Nintendo way into allowing live streams. So
Why would they progress backwards, though?
Well, I assume you couldn't do it before.
No, yeah, you could before.
Oh.
Now you can't.
I mean,
they're just now getting caught up on.
Wait, you can't
internet.
stream. Which games is this referring to?
Nintendo games. Anyone who's part of
made by Nintendo.
Anyone part of Nintendo creators cannot stream or cannot live stream Nintendo games.
What is Nintendo Creators?
It's a program that they introduced for people who are partnered through YouTube, where because Nintendo was DMCAing anyone who put up Nintendo stuff. If you're part of this program, you can basically at the time you were allowed to either Let's Play or live stream Nintendo games, and Nintendo just got a cut of the profits basically.
Because tons of people live stream Ocarina of Time. That's
no more. Let's Plays only.
This is on YouTube, by the way, Nick, not on Twitch.
This isn't Twitch.
Yeah.
This is YouTube.
Yeah, see,
YouTube
this
only.
is insane to me that Nintendo would go through the channels to make this, creators club or whatever. Be like, all right, join this if you want to do live streams. And then once you do that, they're like, yeah, you know what? Nah, no more live streams now.
Poochie Woochie in the chat says there's no ad revenue from live streams, so that's why Nintendo says no live streams.
Well,
that I would believe.
Yeah, that I could see that. Although I'm sure that at some point, Google will cut them in on some of that ad revenue.
But could they just leave the Nintendo Creators program and then continue to live stream?
Yes, they absolutely can do that. But then if you do that, you're going to get DMCA'd. If you're not in the program, they're going to be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
We're going to DMCA you. So what you should do is go to Twitch and do it there.
Yeah.
Nintendo helping to kill YouTube one day at a time.
Yep.
Thanks, Nintendo.
It really just kind of shows that at the end of the day, if they can't make money off of it, they're not interested in it.
Yeah, that's
and they're
not
not interested in supporting it. They see no.
Okay, well, Nintendo's not a
growth
benevolent company.
opportunities.
They're a company. They're in it to make money.
Yeah.
Just like every other company in the world.
Still, though, when you have anti-consumer practices. We call that out on other companies all the time.
Yeah, look, letting people live stream isn't taking away from your profits, but I feel like going through the extra motions to issue DMCAs, you're now paying someone to have to go and do that. So what's cutting in your profits more?
they just said it blanketly that if anything is flagged for Nintendo.
Yeah, you have your white list of accounts or people in your Nintendo creators.
Yep.
And then everyone else just no.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Man, fuck Nintendo.
That's correct.
It is one of those scummy things. But again, people seem to feel like they have a right to use other people's content, especially when it comes to Let's Plays and live streams. And, between Firewatch, DMCA takedowning all of the PewDiePie videos.
Yep.
Or whether it's Nintendo just blanketly not letting people do live streams. Or whether it's Atlas saying you can't stream past a certain point in my game. It's pretty obvious we have no say in this. This is all... everything on Twitch, everything on YouTube is really just allowed because the game companies don't have a problem with it.
Yep.
As soon as they have a problem with it, it's gone. It's all and it's all jeopardized. Anything that you don't directly own, that is up for grabs. There's no way to assure that your product is able to survive. And that's kind of the fundamental flaw of all of these platforms, where if that relationship gets severed or if that relationship gets damaged and game companies go, well, there's no point in letting people stream our game because it's just going to do negative things for us, then basically it's done.
Yeah, it's
wrap
done.
it up.
If you're out there thinking about trying to make your living doing this, yeah, you're walking the knife's edge.
And I think esports actually exposes a more problematic aspect, because now you're seeing broadcast rights get divvied up between different games. And so what happens when a game company goes, well, we've got this exclusive partnership, we're being paid so many billions of dollars to be on this one exclusive platform, we're going to just blanketly DMCA takedown that's not on this thing. Mm-hmm. It makes the whole idea that this is in any way a stable platform or a stable business or a stable way to be able to establish or market yourself. I think it undercuts all of that.
Well, and not just that, hey, we're going to blanketly DMCA take down anyone who's not on this platform. We're contractually obligated to.
Right.
That's part of the deal.
Right. Yeah. And it is not nearly as open and free as people think it is, and you don't just have a right to be able to do this kind of stuff. And the people who go, well, but it is my right, you don't have a fundamental understanding of the way that people own things. I'm pretty comfortable doing this show and all of our other shows. We own this. This is just us talking into microphones and cameras. Like, we own all of this as property, and so that's why we're able to use. If we were doing tightly edited video packages and stuff like that, I would absolutely not use YouTube as my medium.
Well, and like just earlier, we didn't show the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer. This is why.
Right.
Once we have that in, our video is now at the mercy of Rockstar.
Exactly.
And for the most part, we're pretty fond of Rockstar, but we don't want our video at the mercy of anyone.
Exactly. But it's not about how we feel about Rockstar.
Right.
Like, it's about what Rockstar is choosing to do. And I don't know if you've noticed, but Take-Two owns them, and they're cunts.
Yeah,
they suck. Much to the surprise of almost no one, the Wii shop will be coming to a close in the not-too-distant future. Nintendo has announced the shop will be closing down in January 2019, marking the end of the service that debuted in 2006. Nintendo has also said at some point previously purchased games will no longer be available to download and urges all users to download games they need soon. So, yeah, get your games before the shop closes.
So this is the original Wii, not the Wii.
This is the Wii shop on the original Wii from 2006.
Chris?
Yes?
I'd like you to give a eulogy for the Wii shop. Camera's on you. Have fun. That's it?
Poetic.
What else do you have to say?
Poetic.
That is the Switch sound effect.
Really?
Jesus.
I had no idea.
Nika didn't know. Nika didn't know.
It's that's that same fucking sound effect that I never noticed before until someone pointed it out. And then even still, I don't notice it unless I specifically listen for it. There's something about that sound that slides. I just don't hear it.
Who gives a shit if Nika gets a joke or not? She laughed for an entire show about fucking gumshoes, okay?
About what?
The Pokemon that looks like Trump.
Oh. I just know him as the Trump Pokemon. I don't know what his name is.
It totally looks like a Trump, though.
It does.
It's funny.
So, who remembers making Yoshi grab something with his tongue in Super Mario World?
I mean, it is a pretty core aspect.
His hands are too short to grab
dick.
things.
Many players may recall the familiar animation of Mario pointing and Yoshi sticking his tongue out, but Yoshi creator Shigefumi Hino says it's something a bit more sinister. That's right, Mario is actually punching Yoshi in the back of the head, causing him to stick out his tongue in surprise. You monsters.
Did people not know this?
That is canon. He has now said that, no, that is you donkey punching Yoshi in the back of the head and getting him to panic and shoot his tongue out.
This just confirms that Mario is the worst.
No, he's the worst. He's a monster.
There's levels in Mario where you have to like jump on a Yoshi and then jump off the Yoshi to get to like the exit, and Yoshi plummets to his death.
Oh, yeah, you just let him go. Yep. Peace. Bye.
Mario is not a kind person to Yoshi, but you know why? It's because Yoshi is an animal, and that's why you punch him so he knows what's what.
And he also really likes skinning tanukis, too.
Yoshis are not friends, they're food.
Yeah, wait till PETA gets a hold of this information.
Yeah, PETA's going to lose their goddamn fucking mind.
No, because like Koopas and dinosaurs are totally real.
Yeah, exactly.
They are real.
They are, Nika.
Dinosaurs used to be real, but I don't think they were.
I call turtles and tortoises Koopas. So fuck off. They are real.
That doesn't mean that they are.
Shut
Koopas.
up.
I can call it.
Don't ruin my fantasy.
But it doesn't mean anything.
Don't ruin my fantasy world, Nika.
Okay.
Cecil, Matt, Pat. Mario's a sociopath. Creator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I wish
correct.
I could live in your fantasy world, but no.
You don't. You don't want to live in Nate's fantasy world.
Maybe not.
You don't.
Actually, yeah.
Nika,
No one does.
Nika has her own fantasy world where FF15 is a good game.
It is.
All right, no, I'm not doing another hour on this. In the wake of things like It and Stranger Things being so popular, be prepared for an avalanche of 80s nostalgia. First up, 80s alien abduction adventure Flight of the Navigator is set to be remade.
Why? I love that movie, but the remake is going to be dog shit.
Joe Henderson, the showrunner for Lucifer, is set to pen the script for the reboot.
Oh yeah. There's pedigree there. Good.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote Lucifer. Oh boy.
Look, you've had your Mystery Science and
Who
you've had your
fucking
Twin
wa-
Peaks,
who
your Twin
fucking wa-
Beginners. You're
like-
done with good remakes,
Who
okay?
fucking who watched goddamn Lucifer?
It's on its third or fourth season, I think.
Get the fuck out of here.
Season, I think 4 starts up
On the CW? Because it doesn't count if it's on the CW.
I have no idea what station it's on.
What's wrong
Wow,
with CW?
racist.
Because the CW throws money at the dumbest goddamn shit on the fucking planet.
Oh, yep. Arrow's on CW, right?
Fine.
CW has all the DC shows, and whose line is it anyway?
Good. Then
You're
they're
not
fucking
proving your
stupid.
point.
Yeah, you're
helping.
not
CW has
making this
Who's
any
Line?
better.
Those are the only shows I watch.
They also made that fucking Archie reboot, didn't they?
Riverdale.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. That shit is dumb. Someone tried to convince me that it was actually worth fucking watching, and I watched like 30 seconds of it, and I went, no, I am out. It's fucking awful.
Okay, well, you can't get a proper
2 seasons.
idea of just 30
It wasn't
seconds.
literally 30 seconds, but it was enough to
figuratively 30
It was
seconds.
enough to
Okay.
know, like, oh, this is just trying to be Twin Peaks season 2, which is the worst season of Twin Peaks, by the way.
Yeah, 2 seasons with a third one starting tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Let's watch
Yeah.
it.
Well, but that article came out like yesterday, right? Oh no, so literally this Monday.
I'm
Right.
sure that it's a
October
complete.
2nd.
I'm
All
sure
right.
that it's a completely different, like, set of people that are making that show now. Because that's the other thing about the CW. They don't care who's making it.
No.
They don't care who's in it. They don't care who's directing it. They're just like, are people showing up? Cool, we'll keep paying them. And you get just fucking garbage paraded across your screen. Every like the CW shows are the worst shows on the goddamn planet.
you're not
The
looking forward to-
superhero shows are good.
Don't stop
They're not,
defending it,
Nika.
Nika.
They're not.
Nika.
They're not.
You're looking forward to
Supergirl's
Flight of the
good.
Navigator?
No, they're bad.
Supergirl was good, and then the CW bought it from, what was it, ABC?
no,
And now she has a fucking
CBS.
superhero team? Why the fuck does Supergirl need a superhero team? She's Supergirl!
She can't be everywhere at
a lot
once.
of
In
the
the
characters-
crossover episode, she had everyone training against her. She doesn't need a fucking team.
She can't be everywhere at once, Robbie.
Fuck off.
Because a show isn't a show without your friends. That's just how. Why does the Avatar need a team? They still do. Okay, like you just do. Even though you're the fucking Avatar, you still need a team of friends. That's just how
Are you
life.
talking
Are
about
you
the
shitting me?
Airbender?
Yes, I'm talking about Airbender.
He's like the worst person ever. He can't do anything right.
Are you?
It
So
would be a
you're
boring show if it was just her.
you're
fighting
backing
things with
up-
no characters.
You're backing up a bad plot point with a show that had an even worse plot.
What? Who does not like Avatar: The Last Airbender? I have never heard a person who's ever not liked that show.
There's 4 people in this
That's-
room who
that's
don't like
four-
it.
Are you
for
serious? Have you
V1.
watched it?
It is
I have watched it all the way to the end.
It is American anime garbage.
I have never heard anyone say what you're saying right now.
Fucking
The only
awful.
good part is that blue guy who can't do anything right, and he has got a boomerang that always comes back to him.
Sokka.
And his cat has cabbages, and those 3 fire chicks at the end who are really hot. And and that's it.
I watched an entire season and a half of.
I don't think I can be friends with you guys
of
anymore.
what is it? What is the
Is this
second
all it took
Avatar
to get rid
series?
of
The
her?
one with the girl
Because-
in it?
yes,
Because she was
I'm so offended.
there was a girl who was giving me blowjobs, and I wanted the blowjobs to continue, and so,
So
I was
you
just
watched
so I
Avatar?
watched. So she was like, "You should watch it. It's a good show," and I'm like, "All right, I want blowjobs, so I'm gonna watch it." It was fucking awful. terrible.
The show with
The
the
blowjobs,
blowjobs.
the show.
I mean,
Was it
a
worth
little
it
bit
for
of
the-
column A, a little bit of column B?
Was it worth it for the blowjobs?
I mean, yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
All right.
there's few things that aren't. Worth it.
I'd
Twin
watch.
Peaks not worth the blowjobs.
I'd watch it for the blowjobs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Avatar worth it for blowjobs.
Worth it for blowjobs.
Only worth it for blowjobs.
Okay.
Like I've literally never heard anyone in my life have this opinion. You were the first people.
Well,
I am so out of all the things you guys hate that I love, this is the one I just can't. I just can't.
I know, like my brother loved that show, but that show was awful.
It was not. It's
terrible.
one of the
And,
best cartoons on TV.
You can get good American animated stuff. Like the original Teen Titans was great. Like I
Or
loved that
Batman.
show. Batman was outstanding, but no, I didn't like this one.
Avatar is for weeaboos who don't want to dive into the weeaboo culture, so they have American anime
Right.
weeaboo shit.
Yeah.
And it's come on.
I don't know that that's what it is.
It's not
I think it's just a
it's not
cartoon
like that at
show,
all.
but
It's just.
I mean, they took the animation team from Totally Spies and was like, here, you get to do something a little bit more
Oh my
weeby.
God, I
It was way
can't
better than
unsee that now.
Right?
Wow.
It was way better than Totally Spies.
I love the smell of queef in the morning.
Is it?
By the way, you want to know something that'll blow your mind about an American show? Did you know that Fairly Odd Parents is still on and making
yeah.
new episodes?
Apparently, it's really, really bad now.
It's so they brought
That
on a
was
new
a really good
character. It has
show.
gone the way of Pinky the Brain and Elmira. There's a new character on the show who has to share the parents with Timmy, and he hates her. But they have to share fairy godparents.
Apparently, she's the perfect child. Everyone likes her. She has lots of money and no problems at all. And wasn't the whole point of the odd parents to be
you get them if you're tortured.
Yeah.
If your life sucks.
If you have
Why do you have to
shitty
share?
parents.
But straight up, if you listen to the new opening theme song, you can
They
hear
insert her.
She's in the theme song now, and you can hear the writers going, "Someone at corporate said we had to, and we're very sorry, but this is what it is."
Wow.
I still need my paycheck.
I bet Nika
I can't
likes
believe that show's still going.
I didn't realize it was still on.
I found this out I was talking to my brother, and I said, did you know that at one point they inserted Elmira into Pinky and the Brain? He's like, dude, you think that's crazy? I'm about to blow your goddamn mind. And
That's pretty awful.
Yeah. It's
That's pretty
horrifying.
fucking awful.
Anyway, for more information on the latest video game news, head over to checkpointradio.com and subscribe to the Checkpoint podcast
All right.
feed.
So,
All right, so I have a question.
yeah, why are we plugging
going to
Checkpoint?
play Checkpoint through the esports?
Why are- yeah, why are-
When I wrote that, we were trying to get everyone to start following the Checkpoint podcast feed because we weren't doubling them up still. Do you want me to do another new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
what should I direct people to? Because we don't post it anymore.
I don't know.
Maybe you should just do a different one every single time.
Maybe
No,
don't
I'm not doing a
say
different
it.
one every time. Fuck you.
Why do we have to direct?
Yeah, why does there have to be an out on the news? Why can't we just say, and now let's pick
And
up
that's
what
it
our
for the
main
news.
stories?
Now on to our discussion.
Okay, that's what we're getting from now on.
No, do it. Do it.
The best transition.
Do it better.
Yeah, all right. You write me something, I'll read it.
I
Just end the news always with something that leads into our discussion, and you won't have to have an out.
You know
Let's go
what?
right
Because everyone on this show
check
is
this out.
because everyone is devoid of all comedy. I'll write it for you. How about that?
I got this. I got you.
Yeah, you got
All
me?
right. That's it for the news. And speaking of raping our childhood television shows, let's talk about the Rape Tavern in World of Warcraft.
That was the
Boom.
worst transition
That was
I've
terrible.
ever heard.
Boom.
You're just, really bad at
That
everything.
was fucking awful.
Boom.
Did you even?
I'm almost proud.
Did you even try?
More than these jokers.
I mean, I don't
plugged a website we want people to go to.
I don't think that that's necessarily true.
It wasn't a segue.
So what?
I did more than Nika.
It's all bad.
I did more than Nika. Give me that.
It was still pretty
Kidding,
good,
obviously.
though. I think
So-
the fact that I didn't make that bad joke makes me better.
To be fair, he's
you-
not
but you
wrong.
like
We are
Avatar.
talking about a rape tavern today.
That is
Yeah.
true.
That is
Everybody
accurate.
likes Avatar.
So, World of Warcraft has the Goldshire Inn. It's a pretty common place. In fact, if you've ever rolled a human in that game, you've most assuredly been there.
The Golden Shower Inn?
The Golden Shower Inn, absolutely.
Like pee?
Like our president, Nika.
Yes, Nika, like pee.
Wow.
I've not heard of this, so
No, it's fair. I hadn't heard about it till I read the story either. I did not know this was a thing.
Like, it
so
shouldn't be a thing.
this has become the ERP den of Azeroth.
God, of course it has been.
But
Of course, the Golden Shower Inn would.
you would
Okay,
think so.
no. The reason is because it's the first little town that you can get to as Alliance. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you can roll a fresh character.
That's not why at all.
No, it's
it
exactly
is.
why. It's because you
mean,
can
it
roll a
does-
fresh character and you can go there immediately.
Yeah, it does play a role.
It's much the same reason that it's like because Uldah's Adventurers Guild is what it is in 14 because you can get there immediately.
Yeah, and you can't do it in the frosty peaks of the Alterac Mountains with the dwarves because it's just too cold there. Your nipples just burst out of your boob sacks.
Plus, dwarves reproduce asexually. That's just it's not.
Dwarves and gnomes.
Yeah, if you want a place to ERP, you don't. That's just not
where you go.
That's fairly sexless.
Now,
and nobody wants to ERP with a dwarf.
Now, this is of course
That is
been
also
going
true.
on for years. This is nothing new, but there was a story recently put out about it talking about the the rape that has begun to happen there. It has become a place for people to enact rape fantasies.
Oh no.
So when players go there, they are typically solicited for cyber sex because most people who go there, that's why they're there. And recently, it has become a thing that even if you say no, they will follow you around jacking off on you. Or other things.
Okay, well, how do you jack off, though, in an MMO?
So, I'm actually going to yield to our Warcraft players here. I know there is a spell that allows you to basically shoot white fluid onto people.
There's probably a few different spells.
It's not white fluid, okay? If you're a paladin, you have a holy spell, and white aura comes out of you. And it's not like water or anything. It's just a spell, okay? Look,
essentially the ERP at the Golden Shower Inn has devolved from actual role playing to just using different animations or spells or emotes and stuff to simulate the act of having sex.
Now, this was really what's surprising when I was reading the story is because most roleplay communities, the emotes are very secondary. It's you're crafting a story.
It's text-based.
It's text-based, and you're crafting a story. They've literally gotten to the point where they're just spamming emotes to make it look like something's happening on the screen.
Yeah, definitely.
What does anyone get from that?
Yeah, what's the value in that?
So hot.
It is sort of like a very elaborate form of trolling, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
So there's
I was gonna say
Wait, so is this a place that a new player could just wander into?
Absolutely.
They will wander
They
here
just
because you have to
wander
go
in,
here.
all of a sudden someone's jacking off.
and yes, Chris, to your point, not only can you get there, the quests will take you there.
Yeah,
you
the
have
quest
to go
will
there.
direct you there, and you'll get quests and move on from them.
And one of the quotes in there was from one of these quote unquote digital rapists, which I think is still
this is
very funny term. But they had said, I like it when they run. It makes it more real for me. I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing there, but that was essentially what the quote was. Is that I like it when they run.
The article interviewed, I think they said 40 players across 20-some servers, and a lot of them say that when people do run, because when you first come there, they'll solicit you for sex, whether it's in tells or public.
Sure.
They solicit for real phone numbers, contact information,
send nudes,
pictures, and stuff like that. And if you try to run away, for some of them, that now becomes the sport is tracking you down elsewhere in the world
and jacking off
not
on
just
you.
around that area.
Yeah, to keep trying to harass you. So you can say stuff like,
that's horrible.
just block them. But it's so easy now to create a new character and
Right.
keep on doing it over and over and over again.
Right, because
that
it's all
really,
free, right?
Until level 20, So really the only way to get away from this type of harassment is to either log off or completely change servers.
I feel like the people that are more at risk for being a target of something like this is if you react to it. Like if you have some kind of big reaction where you're super offended or you know what I mean?
just engage at all.
Yeah, where you're engaging. Yeah, I think that is going to be more problematic for you in the long term, but I'm
rolling a character tonight. I need to see this. This is insane.
Kelly is turned on by this.
No.
Look at
It's
him.
still bothering me that a 13-year-old could start World of Warcraft, his first online MMO, his parents finally let him buy it after so many years of wanting it, and then he walks into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
This really really, really bothers me.
In fact, that's brought up in the article as well. That they basically
start in the sexless dwarf city then.
But if you're 13
You
and
have
your
no
parents
way of
just finally
knowing.
gave in, how are you going to know?
Yeah, it's not like Blizzard's gonna be like, guys, don't start on the role playing servers. There's a Rape Tavern.
Hold up, wait a minute. Like when I started this game, all the kids did play Alliance, and then it was. But I understand at some point that kind of dichotomy switched, and all like the adults were playing Alliance, all the kids were playing Horde. What is it at right now?
There's fucking noobs everywhere.
Oh, they all just suck. Okay,
yeah, everyone sucks. Yeah.
And I think like online interactions are not rated by the ESRB.
But
that is like no. This is literally why that phrase exists, because someone at the ESRB is seeing the story and being like, exactly.
But what do you do? What do you do about it?
Here's a question though: if they're tracking you down elsewhere in the world, isn't that that's the same thing as tel harassment? You're actually harassing and following someone. Like if you're following someone in FF14, FF11, sending them tells and spamming emotes at them, you can get them in trouble and you can get them banned.
Yeah,
so
it takes months and months and months of reporting.
Is that not a thing you can do in WoW? Like
you can send tickets into Blizzard, right?
For a month,
the problem is that Blizzard has an ongoing promotion that you get to play for free until you hit level 20. So even if someone gets banned, Goldshire Inn is one of the first places you hit before even level 5. And you can go back for free over and over and over again.
Yeah, you can straight up roll a new account.
Yeah.
Even if they ban the account that it's attached to.
Can you ban their
fresh
IP?
Maybe. I don't know if Blizzard would ever put that much effort into curbing something like this.
I mean, but if someone's being like really, really crude and horrible, especially to a minor, like I feel like that they should, like even especially if the person's like, look, I'm a kid, I don't want to participate in this, and they continually do it, I feel like there should be repercussions for that.
On a 1-to-1 ratio, yeah. But this is so rampant now. How do you even start
how do you police
to
this?
investigate something like this or police something like this besides what? You know what? Beginner areas. Shutting off the chat? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, and Rayvon breaks a good point. They'll just VPN around the ban.
Yeah, that too.
If you IP ban them and they really wanted to, they absolutely could.
Right. And so, there's from a technical aspect, there's a lot of reasons why this becomes very difficult, but there's also sort of like the, I feel like it's something that you can't even really police that kind of behavior, because then you have to end up policing a whole bunch of other different behaviors.
That's such a slippery slope.
That can be, kind of categorized the same way. And it's already difficult, I think, to, administrate an online game and be a moderator or GM of an online game. And, the more like, a moral argument in a game is a weird thing, right? Like that always sends up red flags to me. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. People argue about whether aimbotting or hacking or dissecting code or mods.
RMT.
Mods. Yeah, RMT. All of those things are very much up for debate. And I'm not saying that they're not, but I mean that there are even more innocuous things that people argue about, whether you're talking about hacked Pokemon that matter to zero fucking people, or because you can't bring those into a tournament environment,
right.
Or
your shinies devalue my real shinies.
Right, like that whole argument of it's silly. Like there's a lot of like when you kind of step back from it all, it's very silly. And to go like, look, these are people who are using the chat how they want to use it. They're grouping up in a specific place. This is kind of one of the secondary functions of an online world or an online environment.
Right.
It just ends up happening. As Blizzard, I don't know that I feel morally obligated to do anything about it.
I'm with Evil Hippie in the chat. He says getting randomly come down is not a moral argument.
But you're not getting randomly come down. Someone is standing next to you and using their holy aura.
Yeah, but
yeah.
What does it actually matter? What is it actually like? What is that person actually hurting? Because the idea that we're even calling it rape, I think, is a little bit silly.
That's insane,
it's just, it's just someone being ERP'd at, and
but I think
we've had that in the chat, and it can be obnoxious.
And follows them though. Once someone follows you out of that tavern and into the world while you're trying to play play the actual game, I think then it becomes a problem.
But that's harassment, and that's pretty clearly harassment. And I think when it becomes that, Blizzard has a completely separate response and a different set of responsibilities.
Right. The term is the argument is against using the term rape. That's ridiculous.
Well,
harassment, absolutely. That's a fact.
I mean, again, and this article came from Vice.
I would like to point out there is a section in this article where they say the reason this is such a big deal is because some people feel so connected to their character they don't want them to go through this type of humiliation.
Okay, that's fair.
Stop it.
That's silly. My
fucking
concern more
stupid.
is for the kids.
Yeah, and I think, Nika, you actually have a little bit more of a valid concern, but at the same time, anyone who is allowing their kid to play an online game needs to be prepared for the fact that there are people who are going to say things or talk about things that they don't necessarily find acceptable, and as a parent, you either need to educate them before they go into that environment and give them a rundown of all of the things that you want them to take in there with them. And I think, again, that's contingent on the parent. It's not.
Especially with something like World of Warcraft. I mean, but could a kid download that for free now?
In
Absolutely.
Germany, you have to be 12 years old to play World of Warcraft.
Okay.
12.
Because I know that when I taught second grade, I had 7th and 8th graders in my class, and I actually had a mother have a conference with me so that I could speak to her kid about why she should not play a game because she would not listen to the mother. Because she was 7 years old playing in a chat where there were adults that were cussing and using, other things.
What game was it?
Oh, God, I cannot remember now.
Penguin Club.
Let's see, Club Penguin cost money, didn't it?
I have no clue.
I have no idea.
It was something along those lines, that it was some kind of game that she could access through the browser, but it had a chat function, and she was trying to get me, since I had played games, to kind of explain to her that, like, I didn't play till I was a little older, like the people that play with you don't know that you're 7, and I had to like give her this spiel to like justify her mom grounding her from this game. And like it was kind of just eye-opening for me that the parent was unable to get her child to stop playing.
Did it put you in an uncomfortable situation at all? Like, were you
a little, but I was also able to frame it around her academics, specifically because she would spell things like she would type them in a chat on the game. Like she would spell people PPL, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. And she would type like LOL in her or she would write LOL in her journal. I was like, no, we're not doing this.
What's wrong with that?
Well,
that gets the point across. LOL.
They're learning English.
There are definitely some people who would say that that's just a new form of English, and that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's certain places where it's acceptable, but not when she's actually trying to like.
I agree.
Brainstorm a story and then write a draft and then edit it and publish it. Like that's not where you should be.
And we beat those people with sticks anyway.
But it was
What's
just
your
very
stance on
eye-opening
emojis?
to see that kind of thing happening. That kids can just wander into these chats. The people don't think that there are 7-year-olds playing, even though they say, "Oh, well, these people are really like 7." Yeah, they are. So like, honestly, I know that like you can't censor yourself just because there's a kid playing, but like randomly jacking off on someone, especially if they tell you like, "Hey,
I'm jacking off on you."
Yeah, and then you're like, "Hey, I'm like,
being very
12,
explicit
stop
about
it, please." And they're like, "Nope, too bad. I'm going to follow you around and continually jack off on you." Like, if I was a parent that didn't know much about games, I would be completely turned off to ever allowing my child to play a game again at that point. If that was the first thing my child saw when they booted up a game.
It's kind of like the same thing like when parents would sit down and like put on their kid's headset during an Xbox Live session and just be utterly horrified at the things they heard.
That's true too.
It's kind of the same concern.
And again, I think that there needs like that is contingent on the parent to make the child understand that an online environment is in many times an unregulated environment, and it's just a floodgate for everything that is ugly or stupid about the world, and that there's going to be a lot of things that make you really uncomfortable.
Right. And I feel like great parents who understand that would absolutely be able to do that, but there are a lot of parents who don't really know much about what their kids are getting into when they join an online game, especially in my area where there's a lot of foreigners who don't necessarily even understand the English of what the game is describing. And so I feel like that there's just a lot that's lost between generations right now. I think when our kids are playing games like of our generation, it's going to be very different.
Right, we're
like
going to know.
The current like final generation of kids that are like 13 right now. Like group of kids, I feel like their parents are just not necessarily aware enough to give that kind of speech to their child when they
I just don't know even many immigrants at this point that don't know what the fuck the internet is. You know, like, I understand your point about language and that there's a certain language barrier. That I understand, but the internet is pervasive culture, if not the dominant culture here in America. I would say a lot of other places. You know. That's the cool thing about the internet, is that it's worldwide, it's international. You know, it's not necessarily Western culture that dominates the internet. It's the internet culture that's starting to dominate places where you have the infrastructure to have access to the internet. And if you're in the United States, you have the infrastructure access to internet. So I don't know that I totally accept the argument anymore in 2017 that there are just parents that are that this is through sheer ignorance.
I would love to agree with you, but being a teacher who sees parents on a regular basis who are totally clueless about how to like check my newsletter that I send them in their email, like, I'm serious, it's way worse than you would think.
Okay, hold on. Pause. Why and what is in your newsletter, Nika?
Talking about what we do in the class that week. What else would a teacher's newsletter be about?
I have no idea. That's why I'm trying to ask.
Well, but I think to Nika's point, though, she mentions that this is kind of the people who are kids now. They're kind of that last generation whose parents are going to be a little bit clueless about online gaming and what that takes to.
Sure.
Anyone our age, when we have kids,
but not the and what I'm saying is that anytime you let your kid into an online environment, and I refuse to believe that there are people who don't know what an online environment looks like or don't know that their kid has access to it.
There are.
No way, because they're paying the fucking bill. There's no, 6 to 8 year old or 6 to 12 year old that has figured out how to pay a fucking Comcast bill.
Well, no,
I struggle with it every goddamn month because it's so fucking expensive.
There's a lot of people who pay for the internet. They check their email, they do their work. And
yeah, but it's not like when we were growing up where you could have a net zero account that, my parents only figured out that I was accessing the internet because they picked up the fucking phone and heard me connected to it, right? Like, that was a completely different time. I just don't know that I accept that argument fully anymore. And Nika, I understand your point, but I think at least a certain percentage of those people are feigning ignorance because either they didn't read the email on purpose and they just swiped through it. Like,
or
you know what I mean?
There's
like a dozen different reasons that people could be like, oh, well, I don't understand. I do that. Like, I do that shit. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't know how it works, and I know perfectly well how the fuck it works. I just, you just kind of do that to, throw ignorance under the bus instead of a person. But listen, I do understand your point that there may actually be some people still that don't have a good internet handle on internet culture. But let me ask something because I'm just kind of curious. When did you first access like a chat room? Like, for me, it was an AOL chat room.
Yep. Yeah, it was an AOL chat room. Yes, it was.
I was probably 12.
12.
Yeah, I was about that age too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have to
that's
go
about
based on
seventh. That's about seventh grade.
6th, 7th grade for me.
Yeah, middle school around there.
That was middle school.
Yeah, I would have said 6th, 7th grade for me as well.
And I remember that, like, the first chat room, I thought I was like so over because me and my friend were having a sleepover, and we were probably about 12. And it was an AOL chat room, and we were pretending to be like 19 and in college because it was so fun, right? And so people started asking us, like, what's your college major? And we didn't even know what that meant. So we're like, math? Like, we were so clueless. And, like, it was like the whole ASL. Here's a rose
back
for
in
you.
the ASL days. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, here's a rose. And we're like, oh, cool, look, they made it a rose with the @ symbol. How cute. Like, it was, I mean, that guy thankfully wasn't, like, creepy. But we could have had, like, people, we were only 12.
Oh,
so,
I absolutely had people talk to me in chat rooms that were like
sketchy as
that
fuck.
Would have gone badly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely that happened to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean,
I was on a lot of like forums too. By the time I hit like 8th grade, 9th grade, I had joined so many different forums because they didn't have a lot of like chat specifically for like nerdy things.
By 8th, 9th grade, I was definitely into playing online games. Like I was definitely playing Ultima Online by 8th grade.
I started 11th.
If not, it may have been 9th grade, but
yeah,
11 was my first
8th or 9th grade would have been like when I started playing like StarCraft.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. No, I did StarCraft too.
StarCraft was a little different though, because you could only chat with people on your team, right?
No, they had
there
full
was
chat rooms in Battle.net.
There was a lobby system.
You think the AOL chat rooms were dirty?
Somebody, I tried to play StarCraft Online as a kid, but somebody had like hacked my Battle.net account number, gotten it banned before I ever even signed up.
Yep.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
It's like the 4th time we've heard that story on the show, I think.
It gets better each time.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I've told, who I haven't told that.
I was gonna say I've never heard that story, but I also block her out a lot.
I mean, early on for me, there was a lot of wrestling chat rooms.
Yep.
A lot of wrestling chat rooms.
Gotta be careful in those wrestling chat rooms.
Yeah.
They'll start talking about men wrestling with each other.
I really liked the WWF, but I never went into the chat room.
They start talking about, Greco-Roman style.
Yeah, Greco-Roman style. You want some practice?
Olympic wrestling that happens naked.
Yeah, naked, yeah.
Juxta, or Chris, Fat, whatever the fuck your name is, you've been shaking your head the entire time. What was your first chat room experience?
I was in 5th grade, and I went to www.worldofnintendo.com.
Of course, it all comes back to Nintendo.
And there's a chat room there, and I spent most of my time there. And my first, I can remember what my first screen name was, and
oh really? This ought to be good. This ought to be really good.
Oh my god, what was everyone's first screen name?
I remember mine.
I can remember mine as well. It's terrible.
All right, we're sharing. All right, we're sharing. Go, Chris.
All right, so the big thing in this chat room was like having teams or whatever for what, I don't know, role-playing purposes, I guess. And so I made my own team, and I was Captain Golden Moogle from Final Fantasy VI.
Moogle, but in a Nintendo chat room?
Yeah, Final Fantasy VI, Mika.
Yeah.
Or Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah, that was okay back then. That's true.
That's way better than mine.
But eventually,
is that where CG comes from?
And then eventually, I'm like, I don't really like. I don't want to be
Golden,
a Moogle. I don't want to be
much.
Moogle anymore. Or Captain Golden, too long. So I became CG Moogle, and then eventually, I'm like, I gotta change my name because I had a bad RP session with this person. It didn't go good. And so I had to change my name, but I wanted to keep the CG because I was cool. So I went to
cool,
CG CG Chewy.
We all have our similarities, right? But overall, I think as people, the 5 of us are very different people.
Yeah.
Now I'm finding out we're all so much more similar than I ever knew.
So wait a minute. You called it RPing? Because I definitely at that point was calling it cybersex like the news was.
No. It was literally role playing because I was
RPing
role playing.
was different.
I was role playing as I don't know, this cool guy who was up on a dragon in the rafters, and this person I had a crush on, her name was Midnight, wasn't paying attention to me, and so I was really upset, and
Cybersex
son of a bitch. He was Midnight, wasn't he?
Cybersex was.
He's sitting here like I'm looking at the hand motions. He's like, yeah, I'm putting it. He's putting it all together.
CG Moogle. Oh man.
I feel like anything that was considered cybersex when I was a kid was legitimately like you were seeking that out. If you were playing any kind of fantasy at all, it was a role play.
See, for me, it was cybersex meant you were playing yourself. Role playing meant you were doing it to someone else.
Exactly.
That was the difference.
Even still, I did a lot of like forum role play, but none of it was sexual. It was more like, oh, you're just a character. You're an original character in this random world. Let's post on this BBS, and we're like, okay. But my first screen name was not like a forum or a chat room. It was like my AOL Instant Messenger screen name.
Yeah.
Mine was Angel Kitten 1818.
Oh, Nika.
I was like 12. I know.
Oh my god, you were
Nika.
so basic.
That's so terrible.
And then it became like
Holy
DBZ
shit.
Princess or some shit.
You were
that's even worse.
You were the definition of jailbait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Angel Kitten.
and then DBZ Princess. I was DBZ Princess after that.
Gross.
Yeah. I think my email was DBZ Princess.
What about
like, my Hotmail?
Hang on, I have to ask the man of many faces. Callie, what was your screen name?
As you might guess, I had 2.
Signs were showing early on.
God damn.
And you know what? I'll tell you about it another time. I had the most telling thing. I don't know how I never picked up on it as a younger person, but I was like, oh, shit.
He had a catfish account. That's what he's about to admit.
No,
you had a catfish account, didn't you?
No, I did not have a catfish account. I would not say that.
Never?
I had a
Never?
roleplay account for
Okay,
being a
alright.
girl, but not a catfish one.
Okay.
So my guys one was, the name was Sentinus, and it was for don't worry, it was for a vampire persona that I had created.
Oh,
Were you really cool with a long black trench coat?
Oh yeah, I was.
And sunglasses?
Sunglasses.
Did you smoke?
I had Alucard's wide brim hat going all around. I did not smoke. I did not.
So
holy
cool.
shit!
Oh yeah.
Awful.
I had that.
Awful.
And then actually, I had a girl's one that was something to the effect of, it was like XX kitten or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a catfish account. That's a catfish account, whether you know it or not, whether you used it for catfish or not.
Kelly, we still have 20 minutes. You might as well tell everyone your story.
So this is just something so we were talking about the other day at work about our first role-playing game that we ever played, and I said D&D 4th edition, forgetting that when I was a kid I had actually played a little 1st edition. My friend's brother hosted a session for us all, and I was the only one in the group who wanted to play a girl. And my friends thought that was lame and sucked. So I played a girl whose parents raised her as a boy. And now, 20 years later, looking at this, I'm like, holy shit! 9-year-old me was kind of self-aware.
Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was something.
All right.
Anyway, someone else tell their story about their account was.
All right, so I'll go ahead and go next. My very, very first screen name, which would have again been an AOL, wasn't anything super creative. I think it was
Juggalo Prince.
No, it was my initials,
King of Clowns,
which is rap, and then probably some type of number on the end of it, so it wasn't super
Hold
crazy.
up, one sec. We just need to point this out from the chat. Ellie the Druid pointing out, oh my god, my Gaia login still works. My name is so cringe. Mrs. Demon Kagome.
Oh
no!
Kagome.
Oh no!
Yeah, I recently got my Gaia thing reinstated. I can't remember why. One of
I'm
my
gonna
friends
log
was
into
like,
mine.
Yeah,
I
one
don't
of my
remember
friends
the name,
was
but
like,
I'll figure
you
it
should
out.
log in Gaia again because I still play this and it's so different now. And I was like, okay. And then the guy was like, nope, we've deactivated your account 4 years ago. And I was like, fuck. So I like emailed their customer service and they reinstated it for me. And all my shit's still here.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go. Like,
Sell
I'm
the
sure if it
account.
was my Yahoo email, I'll use that.
We need more people in the chat to start sharing those. I actually, Viscerin said, thank you, A-Holes, for reminding me of my dark past. Gotta go bash my skull in so I can forget again.
Come on, Viscerin,
Not
what
until
was
you
it?
put it in the chat.
Yeah, you gotta share. You gotta share what it was.
Anyway, my first, like, I guess screen name that I put any thought into actually can be connected to what I go by now on forums. I was Amorikalo, which is made from a bunch of different words from Tolkien's Elvish, which translates to the Dark Hero.
Fucking nerd.
Wow.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That was your first?
That was one of my first ones. Yep. I remember going through the back of the Silmarillion, like where it has all the different words and the translations, and like making a name based on all those words and stuff.
Who does that at like 12 years old?
Yeah, I was big.
I might have done that at 16.
I was gonna say I was big in like creative writing and stuff like that.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, my first screen name was DXHBKDX.
Yeah.
XHK.
Yes, it's a wrestling reference.
Yeah, like
sure
HBK,
fucking
like
is.
Heartbreak Kid, is that?
Yep,
Yeah.
DX, Heartbreak Kid, DX.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had that for a long time.
Yeah.
And I had that screen name when Shawn Michaels did a live AOL chat room. And I was so proud.
What year was that in?
Because he said something about it, and I was like, "Oh my god,
He noticed me.
What year was that? Where Shawn Michaels did an AOL. Was that when he lost his smile and he needed something to do?
No. That was when it was in the run up to WrestleMania where he won in the Iron Man match.
Oh.
That was actually when Vince was, I guess, giving him the promo push, and they had that big deal with AOL. So you would have like Shawn Michaels or Stone Cold that would sit. They would sit in a chat room. No one. That was not true. Like,
it was not actually.
No,
them.
I don't think it was him.
No, it was their PR person.
They'd be in the same building, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, someone asked this question.
You get these really stupid moments where they would put the camera on them, and they'd have the keyboard right in front of them, and it would be like, of course, a fucking laptop from 1997, right? So it'd be like a fucking brick, and they'd be sitting there doing like they'd be like shadow typing and like doing all of these big like fucking stupid
motions.
pantomimes, and you could tell that they weren't actually. But I was like, oh, he acknowledged my name.
All right, yes or no? Did you ever once role play as Shawn Michaels?
Fuck no.
Okay, just checking.
No, I had someone do the thing online where they pretended to be someone they weren't.
Right.
Like, I had that happen early on, and I was like, well, fuck that. I'm never going to do that.
Yeah, I didn't get burned on that till a little later in life.
Yeah, I think the first time you get burned on it is when you're like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yep.
Like, and it is. It's such a fucked up thing to do.
Yeah. Have you seen? Have you seen the college humor bit where the guy shows up at the door and he's like handing a letter because the person had died in war, so he's handing like the notification to the next of kin, and it's someone he'd been catfishing online.
Oh,
so it's a guy instead of a girl. He's like, no, that's me. And they're like, you're Jennifer Stevens. Like, yes. And he's like going through this long thing about like what all their plans were for life, and the guy's just like looking at him horrified because he's been catfishing this guy. And then at the end of the video, like 3 more people show up with the same letter.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man.
That's a video that hit very close to home. Little too true.
I don't miss the AOL AIM days.
No, but we all started there.
At all.
Yeah.
Man, I like the instant messenger because you can change the background on your font and your color.
Yeah, dude, that was the best. Everyone did like really fancy away messages with all the different colors.
Okay,
not just,
that was great.
flashing gifs, like
specifically to the away messages, the amount of drama and like passive aggressive crap that happened in away messages.
I do remember
I was thinking about that the other night when I was on Discord. I'm like, can I set up an away message so if someone messages me? That was something they had on AIM. How is that acceptable that it's not here?
It's kind of true. Like it was. I do remember all of the passive
I don't feel like talking right now.
Yeah.
Right after you have a fight.
Right. Oh my god.
Don't call me at XXXXXXXX.
How many significant others did you have where AIM was your primary mode of conversation?
One I dated for 5.5 years.
Oh my god.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Eventually we met real life.
Yeah.
So
that's how
for a good year, like the first year that me and the Flood were together. It was mostly through AIM.
Absolutely. I met when I started before I dated Sunny, her and I were friends for 5 years, primarily through Gaia and AIM before we ever met.
Jesus. That's sad.
So mine was actually my second high school boyfriend, like the most horrible guy I've ever dated. Myself and his ex-girlfriend used AIM to corner him in lies, and it was the most beautiful thing. Like, one of us would ask him a question and he would tell us one answer, then the other one of us would wait like 5 minutes and ask the same question and he'd give a different answer, then we'd copy and paste to each other.
Wow.
It was yeah, and he was a
that
big
sounds
asshole.
dramatic.
But then later, like 2 months later, I checked her away message and it said they were back together. I was like, fuck, seriously? After all of that we did just to prove how horrible he was, you're back with him.
Who else had the profile on AIM? Who else had their profile just full of funny quotes and things they've seen?
Oh, I had tons of quotes.
Yeah.
I had like 90 of them.
I had funny quotes that I said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How many of those were actually funny?
All of them.
None. Not a single one.
I know they're funny because when I said it and the other person said LOL back. That means they were laughing out loud.
What if you could
Literally everything anyone ever said LOL to, he put in there like it's comedy gold. They wouldn't lie to me.
If you could log into your AIM account right now, what would be the last away message you think you left?
Oh, jeez. I have no fucking I don't even know where to begin. I could probably log in.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of want to download AIM and see what happens.
Do we have AIM on this computer?
Fuck no, you don't have. Why would AIM be on that computer?
Didn't AIM AIM just got discontinued, I thought, didn't it?
Did it?
Why don't we?
Because Surin used to use it with a friend that we had.
Did anyone else use Trillion?
No.
Oh, wait, so
Trillion was one program that had Yahoo Messenger,
Yes.
ICQ, and AIM.
I do remember. I did.
Yeah, Trillion was great.
I did use Trillion for a long time.
I thought ICQ was the coolest thing ever because you could see what they were typing in real time.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
I never used that program.
I didn't have any friends on it, so neither did I. But I thought it was really cool.
Just a cool fact.
Man, I miss.
Have we revealed more about ourselves than we ever intended today?
Probably.
Nico was so basic.
Angel Kitten.
But the thing is
She
that
still is.
That's fair.
But the thing is that I wasn't basic enough to be popular with the other basic girls because I also was a DBZ princess, and that to them was not cool.
No, that was not going to fly.
You
with
were a
anybody.
basic loser.
Clearly, yeah. So.
God damn.
Princess Diamond Moon, whatever the fuck it was.
Seriously.
Oh, I also had a screen name on AMV music videos where I was Trunks' girlfriend.
Oh, no. By the way, someone mentioned Meebo, and oh my god, I've forgotten about Meebo.
I was so into Dragon Ball Z that I don't know, it was overtaking my being.
You were
It was
Trunks'
horrible.
girlfriend.
Yes, I was. It was horrible.
I'm pretty sure at some point I had a screen name that had an SSJ on it.
I absolutely had an SSJ name at some point.
Almost positive that I
hated
did.
all those people.
SSJ Captain Kabutops.
I know like 5 different people with SSJ in their screen names.
I'm SSJ 5 because it's one higher than he ever goes. All right,
Yeah.
great.
I thought
No,
there
don't you
was
want to
an
hear the
SSJ
lore on
5
how
now.
you get there? No, go away.
You just scream really loudly.
Man, one of the first things that I got into outside of like Ultima Online was this thing called Active Worlds. Do you guys
Worlds. I don't
remember
know
any of
that
that?
one, no.
It's it was sort of like a precursor to Second Life.
Okay.
Where you could build things.
First
like
Life, then.
You could run a private server, right? And you could have run your own instance of Active Worlds, and it could be whatever you want. And it had this very kind of like malleable programming language where you could build all kinds of really intricate shit, but it was basically a visual chat room. Like most of the shit that went on in there was just people talking to one another. It was very, very sandboxy.
Yeah.
But I remember that there was a world that I had collaborated with a bunch of other people on where we had actually made like Pokemon gyms, and you could do very kind of like very basic Pokemon battles.
Okay.
And it would just use kind of tiles where we would take like JPEGs of different Pokemon and put them in there.
Okay.
It was actually
You know what this
really
sounds
fun.
like? A very primitive online card game.
Stop it. Fucking stop it.
I'm sorry, I was tuned out for a while, but I came back in when I heard card game.
No.
Jim, like, oh my god, I've forgotten. MSN Messenger
I
was
used
the thing way
MSN
back.
Messenger.
I had an MSN Messenger.
I also really like Yahoo Messenger because if someone wasn't paying attention, you could hit that buzz button and it would vibrate and scream at them like.
Remember when you couldn't uninstall MSN Messenger? Like there was just nothing. It was like
then it changed into MSN Live Messenger, and then they're like, I can't get rid of this, and you're like, you're always signed in with your MSN account at all times.
yeah,
So
they were like
stop.
it's like necessary bloatware. Here you go.
Yep.
Microsoft was like, you can never get rid of this. I mean, at least you can uninstall like what is it? What did Internet Explorer?
Oh my
change
god. Demon Tech in the chat just said AIM is now an app, and it absolutely is.
Is it really?
shit.
Sure,
You
it
can
says that
download
discontinued
AIM
in
onto
May.
your phone. Ugh.
Like it doesn't have computer support anymore.
I kind of want to download this.
Guess what we're using for the LVR host chat from now on?
Can we please? Because Facebook chat sucks.
Fucking Facebook chat is the worst.
Installing AIM.
Holy
Just use a private Discord chat or group me works.
Why use something effective?
No, we're using AIM because we
using
gotta be
AIM,
edgy.
bitch.
I love how we're taking up time on the show.
I just agreed to the end user license agreement for AIM in 2017.
God, stop it.
I'm just gonna
Stop
say,
it.
I hope you.
No.
I mean, it's a
What
good
is
thing.
my name?
It's a good thing that you don't have any fucking children because you just
Please
agreed
be
to sign
Kitten
away the first
XXX.
3 of them.
Can we have like really cringy screen names for this too?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're gonna make
I'll
new
be
ones.
Angel Kitten again.
Hold up, I need to sign on to trying to figure out what my original one was and see if any of my friends are still online. Oh shit!
Wait, can
what
you
was my
sign into your
password
original
back then?
screen names?
See,
I'm gonna try.
That's my biggest problem. Like, remember, my screen name is one thing, but like my password has evolved through so many different things.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mine worked.
Yours did. Shut the
Really?
fuck up.
You're on your original aim?
Yeah.
How many friends? How many friends
Hold
do you have
on,
online?
I'm getting there. Hold on.
All right, I need to know your last.
I can't. If
your
by the
last
way,
away message.
Well, if it saved all of that.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if it did.
Does it have your friend list?
It does.
no.
It does
Oh
have
my
your
god,
friend
it
list?
has my groups. I have individuals, Pokegoon, Pokemans. Ooh, I don't like that one.
Wait, what? You don't like what one?
What one? Was it something really racist?
No, it's Blank's friend. Someone who used to date's friend.
Oh, yep.
Facebook, online, SSBS.
You were using...
That is a callback to
Super Smash
Game
Brothers.
Facts.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Super Smash Brothers social board.
Oh, my God.
I'm so scared to try.
All right,
The Yu-Gi-Oh! Mafia. Oh, that's my friend.
Hang on.
Nebo
Go.
rules.
Hang on. No. You don't do not get to just blow past the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mafia. What the fuck is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mafia?
Well, it's basically what you would think it is. Back in high school, I went to a
the
card
shadows zone.
These are two goddamn words that I never thought would exist in the same sentence. So no, you have to explain this.
You activated my trap card. Now you have bricks on your feet. Throw you into the shadow realm now. So you sink to the bottom where it's extra dark.
It's just my card group of friends for the card shop that got closed down like 7 years ago.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Mafia.
I mean, that's not what we called each other, but that's what my group was called.
Oh, wow. It says my new password is brilliant. That's good.
Okay, we all know his password now. It's brilliant.
Well, you said it gets cringier. Keep going then.
Oh, yeah. I got Meebo rooms. I don't know what that was for. Clan sex. Not what you'd think. It's
Oh, is it not?
unfortunately, no, it's even worse than that. On the SSBSS, all of the really cool people came together and made like clans and stuff, and the really cool people were the badasses, in which I wasn't part of the original founders, but I got placed in it like 2 months down the road, and that's I called it clan sex. and then
because getting into that group probably felt as good as what sex would when you eventually had it.
Yeah, because it was all the cool people.
Jesus.
Oh my.
We also have Tides of Blood. That was a Warcraft 3 mod that was superior to Dota in every single way, but never took off the ground. I'm still salty about that.
To this day, every time he hears about Dota 2, he's like, that mod was better.
It's not Clans of Blood.
Tides of Blood, what you could have been. And then friends.
There's no one in that one.
Just friends.
Can you set an away message? Can you set a...
Let's see, I'm looking.
I can't remember what my passwords are. I'm trying.
Because if they saved your last away message, I need to know what it was.
I had to answer a security question, which is, what is the name of your pet? And I'm like, fuck, what year did I write that in? I can't believe I got it right. I had 13 dogs at the time that question was asked.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I don't think there's any way for me to even like try and find out what my old password or screen name was, because I'm pretty sure it'll send me to an email address that I haven't touched in.
That's
I'm trying to log into that Hotmail email, and it says that it still possibly exists, but I cannot think of the password.
Oh, can you imagine the amount of spam that's going to be in there, though?
What the? Do I have people online right now?
Do you?
I do.
You do?
Somehow.
I do.
Send them a message that's just, hey, winky face.
Someone's name is...
No. Chris, send him a dick pic. That has got to be like the strangest place to get an unsolicited dick pic in 2017, right?
I don't think you can set an away message anymore.
No!
I don't think you can.
No!
What's the point?
Fuck it. No, we're done. We're not using AIM. If we can't set passive aggressive away messages, then I don't want to.
Oh, I think I found my login for my
I don't want to be a part of it.
Email. Here we go.
Oh my god.
I think I figured.
I can't believe that
it says there's something fishy about this. We're gonna email your other email and put in a code to make sure it's really you. At least I still have the other email that it sent.
I messaged this person. They go, "Holy hell! I haven't heard from you in a while."
Wait, really? You're
only
talking
a
to someone
decade?
right now?
Yeah.
Now ask them why the fuck they're still using AIM. Jesus.
I'll find out.
Where the fuck are we?
Do you know who that person is?
I do know them, yes.
What year is it?
This is the weirdest nostalgia trip ever.
It really is. I really have no idea.
Like, you know how sometimes you end up on the weird side of YouTube? This is like the weird side of the 90s.
How did we get from
Rape Tavern?
Rape Taverns to getting back on AIM?
As children.
I don't know, but
it's totally relevant.
It's been a great trip, hasn't it?
I don't know if I'd say that.
I mean, the person that you
look at Infinity Fox. This has been the best show there, and you know what? An element of me agrees with that. It's been weird, but it's been real.
I mean,
this is the most real show we've ever had.
Okay, I just want to know that the topic was talking about rape magicians and shit, and now it's the most real show for Callie.
Rape magicians?
Yeah.
Do you see yourself more as like a rapist who does magic or a magician who also likes to rape?
That's
3 years coming. Phrasing.
You know what? I wondered why rape magician sounded familiar.
Oh, you stepped right in it.
I did.
You know what? If anyone's ever willing to like animate a segment of our show, can it please be from this episode?
By the way, that clip was from the League. That was Nick Kroll from the League. I just want to mention this before we sign off the air. That Nick Kroll has a new show. It was just released on Netflix. A lot of really funny people in it. Fred Armisen is in it. I think her name's Julie Klein. John Mulaney is also in it as well. It's an animated show, and
I do like John Mulaney.
Yeah, and it's pretty fucked up. I'm gonna just put that out there. Like, be ready for like a pretty it's very sex positive.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's very good. Check it out. Big Mouth. I didn't like the animation at first, but it started to grow on me after a while. I think it may have been someone who was closely associated with Duckman that might be responsible for the character designs, but it's a weird show, but it definitely gets a recommend for me. All right, that's going to be it for our final.
Wait,
encounter.
I have something to plug before we go.
Okay, then, Nika.
Real quick, I just wanted you to know I sent a message to everybody on AIM that is on AIM currently, and I did not get a single away message.
Wait, hold on, because it actually forwarded it to my phone.
Wait, what?
I got an IM. It just says CG Chewy. Oh, 1337. Hi.
Yeah, that's me. Who are you?
I need to figure out. So I got into my Hotmail account, but Hotmail's been completely revamped with Outlook.
How is my phone attached?
My inbox is gone.
Wait, you can give me my IM or my screen name.
Are you? Jeez.
What?
Are you D3A7H?
No.
M? No. No. Okay.
No.
Well, you can't be Drew Haas. No, that's you. Oh, wait, are you a monoxide clone?
Oh my God, he was right.
Monoxide?
That's Twisted, not ICP, but yeah, wow. I remember that.
Now you know your name.
Boom!
Oh, you get a fist bump for that. Fist bump.
I was fucking right. I was fucking right. You hatchet man juggalo piece of shit. Oh my! How did you not? I don't
forgot.
Don't believe it. I don't believe that for a fucking second. All of us are sitting here talking about our embarrassing ass screen names, and you're just like,
you withheld an ICP
I looked it up. I looked up a Tolkien reference.
Trying to make the moral high ground of nerds.
Yeah,
Get
fucking
the fuck out of here.
Don't high road us on this show,
No,
you
because that
dick.
payoff, the payoff of you being right was so good. It was so good.
All right.
Anyway, I want to let everybody know that Extra Life is on November 4th. It is coming up within about a month. So if you would like to join Extra Life this year with us and Team Limit Break Radio, remember Extra Life is a 24-hour gaming marathon where you ask for pledges and you raise money for children's cancer research. I will probably be streaming all 24 hours on LBR's Twitch, just like I've been doing the past 3 years. You can go to, maybe you can put it in the chat.
I gotcha.
extralife.org/team/Limit Break Radio, and you can sign up as part of Team Limit Break Radio and help us work as a collective whole to reach our goal of 3K.
And we do like a collective whole.
Yes.
Not as good as the fractured butthole.
So,
what game are you
go
going
do
to stream
that.
for 24 hours?
Yeah, what are you going to play for 24 hours?
You can play a Final Fantasy 14?
No.
For 24 hours?
I don't think you could.
See, the thing is that normally I'm actually really upset because Extra Life the past couple years has been the week before a patch drop. And I'm like, God, why couldn't it be like the next? But now it's like 2 weeks or so after the patch. And I'm like, there's probably not going to be any content left.
Nope.
But preview for what the conversation might be on LBR today.
I wonder. All right, that's going to do it. Make sure that you sign up again. That's extra-life.org/team/Limit Break Radio and help raise money for kids with cancer. That's going to do it here for Final Encountercast. I want to thank everyone who's been watching. It's been an interesting show.
Yeah, it has.
Again, I don't know how we get from Rape Taverns to AIM screen names, but...
What a wonderful journey.
Yeah, you guys got to experience that, and apparently a few of you like the conversation, so it's all for the good. Anyway, check out our website where you can hear all 81 episodes, including this very episode if you caught it from somewhere in the middle, over at finalencountercast.com. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a little bit of iTunes or Apple Podcast love. Leave us a rating or a review. Again, finalencountercast.com. Stay tuned. Limit Break Radio is coming up next at 4 p.m. That's going to do it. I want to thank my crew, Callie, Fat, Nika, Robbie, and Kooky Persona, who's been manning our phone lines. I'm Nate. We'll see you next time. Final Encountercast is a production of finalencountercast.com, Limit Break Radio, and Bender Media Productions. Today's episode was produced by Nate Bender, Robbie Landis, Callie Sloan, and Kooky Persona. This show made possible by the generous Patreon donors of the podcast Limit Break Radio. Opening music provided by Keyboard Kid. More info and music can be found at keyboardkid206.bandcamp.com. Closing music provided by Sobsy. For more info, visit sobsy.bandcamp.com. Final Encountercast and its hosts are solely responsible for its content. Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks so much for tuning in to episode